hydra with tentacles over here and a small hydra. Okay, now it's in a growing stage. Then there is a formation of a proper hydra. In the last picture, you can see you have to draw 4 hydras where there is a disconnection of the hydra with the parent hydra. Okay, moving on to the next question. Veins are thin walled and have walls. Justify this question. Okay, now the 3 types of blood vessels are veins, capillaries, and arteries. Now, veins are thin walled because it collects the blood from different organs and bring it back to the heart. They do not need thick walls because the blood is no longer under pressure. Instead, they have walls that ensure that the blood flows only in one direction, and there is no mixing of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood takes place. Okay, so this is a very important question. If you have any doubt, you can always mail me. Okay, I'll share you with you my email ID. Now, next question is state the role of pancreas in digestion of food. Again, this question carries 1 mark because there's only you have to state the role of pancreas. So the pancreas, it secretes pancreatic juice. Okay, so here I have already marked the names which are very important. You have to memorize the names. Pancreatic juice, which contains enzyme like trypsin for digesting proteins and lipase for breaking down the emulsified fats. You can also learn visually that trypsin used for digesting the proteins and lipase used for breaking down the emulsified fats. Okay, so this is very short 1 mark question which you can write. Next question is how the wall how the wall of small intestine adapted for performing the function of absorption. Okay, so we just have to find out how the small intestine adapted for performing the function of absorption. Now, if the surface is flat, it will not be able to absorb much. Okay, if the surface is a little groovy, then the surface absorption the absorption takes place is a little larger than what a flat surface has, right? So this is the point of understanding that's why there is a formation of villi. This projected structure is called as villi. The digested food is taken up by the walls of intestine. Okay, so when the food is digested, it is taken up by the walls of intestine. The inner lining of the small intestines have finger-like projections. Now here we are in the first point, we have to uh, write about that the digested food is taken up by the walls of intestine and the inner lining. In the second point, you have to explain that the inner lining of the small intestine has finger-like projection. You have to describe the structure of villi in the second point. Okay, so this is how you can remember the answer. So the inner lining of small intestine has numerous finger-like projection called villi, which increases the surface area of absorption. Okay, which I already explained you. Now the third point is the villi are richly supplied with blood vessels. Now you have to write what the villi contains. Okay, it contains a richly supplied blood vessels, which transfer the absorbed food to each cell. Now the function of this blood vessel is to transfer the absorbed food to each cell of the body where it is utilized for. Now the function of the cell: obtaining energy, building up of new tissues, and repair of old tissues. Okay, so in this answer, you have to write where the food is absorbed in the walls of intestine, how the food is absorbed, the structure is called as villi. Third is The villi is also richly supplied with blood vessels which transfer food, absorb food to each cell of the body, which where it is used by for obtaining energy, building up new tissues, and repair of old tissues. See, here you can see this is a villi. Okay, now it is richly supplied with blood vessels. It absorbs food, it goes to the cell, then unabsorbed food, it goes into large intestine. This part is not important because our question is how is the wall of small intestine adapted for performing function of absorption. Okay, moving to the next question. Out of goat and a tiger, which one will have a longer small intestine? Justify your answer. Now, because goat eat grass which contains lot of cellulose, it requires longer time to digest the food. Okay, the length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending on the food they eat. Okay, for example, herbivores animals like cow, goat, etc. eat grasses. It needs a longer small intestine to allow the cellulose to get digested. Meat is easier to digest, hence carnivore like tigers have a small intestine. Okay, moving to the next question. It also a lot 1 mark question, so you have to write these 2 points. First is about the length of the intestine. It differs in different animals. Second point would be herbivores animals. It eat grass and it has a longer small intestine. You have to memorize this because they have to digest the cellulose which is present in grass. And third point is very simple, meat is easier to digest, hence carnivores like tigers have small intestine. Moving to the next question. Bile juice does not have any digestive enzyme but still plays a significant role in the process of digestion. Justify the statement. Okay, so bile juice from the liver. Now, where does this bile juice come from? From the liver. Accomplishes this in addition to acting on fats. Okay, so if you just go to the slides which I have already shared with you in those explanation, there are some diagrams also which will easy for you to understand the concepts. So please subscribe this video so that you can see the previous parts also. Okay, there I have given it in some diagrammatic explanation. Fats are present in intestine in the form of large globules. Okay, now these fats they are present in the form of large globules which makes it difficult for enzyme to act on them. So what does this bile do? The bile salts break them down into smaller globules which increase the efficiency of enzyme action. So this is the main function of bile juice, that it breaks down the fat globules into smaller globules and increase the efficiency of enzyme action. Okay, so any problem, any difficulty if you are facing to understand, please you can always write me a mail. Now state this question I'll take next time. Thank you so much for watching.